Imagine waking up to breathtaking mountain views, vibrant city life, or the peaceful charm of coastal towns. Canada is home to some of the world's most livable places, but which province is the best for you in 2025? Are you looking for high salaries, affordable housing, or a slower, more relaxed lifestyle? In this video, we're breaking down the best provinces to live in Canada based on jobs, cost of living, quality of life, and more. Which province do you think will come out on top? Stick around because your future home might be just one decision away. Number 10. New Brunswick. Alright, let's start with a province that people often overlook. New Brunswick. But here's the thing. If you want to live in Canada without burning through your savings, this is the best place to be. The average home price here is just $286,000. Now, if you're from Ontario, you're probably laughing because that's what some people pay just for a down payment in Toronto. And rent? You can get a 2-bedroom apartment for $1,100 a month, which is almost half the price of what you'd pay in Vancouver or Toronto. But don't think New Brunswick is just about cheap living. It's also packed with natural beauty. Picture this. Waking up to the sound of Bay of Fundy's record-breaking tides, which can rise as high as a 5-story building, literally 50 feet in just a few hours. This province is also home to Fundy National Park, the Hopewell Rocks, and some of the most untouched forests in Canada. If you love hiking, kayaking, or just being outdoors, this place is paradise. Now, let's talk economy. Is it booming like Ontario or Alberta? But it's growing. The province's GDP is around $36 billion, with industries like forestry, manufacturing, and a growing tech sector in Fredericton. Unemployment here is around 7.2%, slightly above the national average, but the lower cost of living makes up for it. Plus, if you're an entrepreneur, New Brunswick is one of the best places to start a business in Canada because it has one of the lowest corporate tax rates at 14%. What about lifestyle? If you're someone who loves a close-knit, friendly community, this place is perfect. People here are genuinely friendly. Like, know your name at the coffee shop after 2 visits? Friendly. Crime rates are also 40% lower than the national average, making it one of the safest provinces. Of course, it's not all perfect. Winters here? Brutal. We're talking minus 20 degrees Celsius cold snaps and some heavy snowfalls. And if you're looking for big city nightlife, this isn't the place. But if you want a peaceful, affordable, and nature-packed lifestyle, New Brunswick is one of the best places in Canada to call home. Number 9. Prince Edward Island, PEI. Imagine waking up to endless red sand beaches, rolling green fields, and the freshest seafood you've ever tasted. That's Prince Edward Island for you. The smallest province in Canada, both in size and population, is an absolute gem for those who love a peaceful and scenic lifestyle. With only 172,000 people living here, you're never far from a quiet beach, a charming fishing village, or a friendly neighbor who actually remembers your name. Let's talk affordability. Housing in PEI is ridiculously cheap compared to big provinces. The average home price? Just $362,000 as of 2025, which is 1/3 of what you'd pay in Vancouver or Toronto. Renting? A 2-bedroom apartment goes for about $1,300 a month, making it one of the most budget-friendly places in Canada. The cost of living is around 10 to 15% lower than the national average, meaning your paycheck stretches further here. But PEI isn't just about affordability, it's also about quality of life. The province has over 800 kilometers of coastline, meaning you're never more than 15 minutes away from the ocean no matter where you live. Plus, it's home to some of the best seafood in Canada. PEI oysters are famous worldwide, and the lobster here is so fresh it was probably caught this morning. The province also has one of the cleanest environments in North America, with air quality levels consistently ranking in the top 5% worldwide. What about jobs? PEI's economy is driven by agriculture, tourism, and fishing. But in recent years, there's been a boom in tech and renewable energy. The province's GDP stands at around $8 billion, and unemployment is sitting at 6.5%, which is improving year by year. Plus, the provincial government is actively looking for skilled workers, meaning immigrants and remote workers are more than welcome here. One major downside of living in Prince Edward Island, PEI, is the limited job opportunities. The economy relies heavily on agriculture, fishing, and tourism, meaning year-round high-paying jobs can be hard to find. The average salary is lower than the national average. But if you dream of a laid-back seaside life with friendly communities and affordable living, this could be the perfect place for you. Number 8. Newfoundland and Labrador. Newfoundland and Labrador is unlike any other place in the country, and that's exactly why people love it. This province, with a population of just 530,000 people, feels like an entirely different world compared to the rest of Canada. With its rugged cliffs, dramatic coastlines, and small fishing villages, Newfoundland is home to some of the most breathtaking landscapes you'll ever see. First, let's talk about cost of living, because that's a major reason people move here. The average home price? $310,000, which is almost 75% cheaper than Vancouver. Rent? You can find a 2-bedroom apartment in St. John's, the capital city, for about $1,200 a month. And the best part? You don't need a car if you live in St. John's. Unlike most small provinces, the public transit system here is pretty solid. But what makes Newfoundland and Labrador so special is its people. Newfoundlanders are famously friendly, and they have one of the most unique accents in the world, a mix of Irish, Scottish, and English influences. If you move here, expect to be invited to a kitchen party within a week. Seriously, it's a thing. They drink, sing, and dance right in their kitchens. The economy? It's historically been tied to fishing and oil, but in recent years there's been a big push towards tech and renewable energy. The province's GDP is around $35 billion, and the unemployment rate, while high at 8.4%, is improving as more remote jobs become available. Now let's talk about nature, because Newfoundland and Labrador is a paradise for outdoor lovers. You've got Growmore National Park, which looks straight out of a movie, Iceberg Alley, where you can see actual icebergs floating past the coastline, and some of the best whale-watching spots in the world. Also, if you're into hiking, the East Coast Trail is 336 kilometers long. Good luck finishing it. The cons? Temperatures often drop below -20 degrees Celsius, and snowstorms can last days. Also, jobs in certain industries, like tech or finance, are harder to find compared to Ontario or BC. But if you want a place with friendly people, stunning nature, and a strong cultural identity, Newfoundland and Labrador is one of the best places to live in Canada. Number 7. Manitoba. Now, let's talk about a province that doesn't always get the hype it deserves. Manitoba. People often think of Manitoba as just that place with long, cold winters. But if you look past the snow, you'll find one of the most affordable and opportunity-filled provinces in Canada. First, let's talk real estate, because if you want to own a home, this is one of the easiest places to do it. The average house price in Manitoba is just $350,000, and in Winnipeg, the capital, you can still find homes for under $400,000. Compare that to Toronto or Vancouver, where $1 million won't even get you a decent condo. Renting? You can get a 2-bedroom apartment in Winnipeg for about $1,500 a month. Now, let's talk economy, because Manitoba is booming. Unlike some smaller provinces that rely on just one or two industries, Manitoba has a diverse economy. The province has a GDP of $79 billion, and key industries include agriculture, aerospace, manufacturing, and tech. Plus, Winnipeg is home to some major employers, including Canada Life, Boeing, and Ubisoft. If you're a skilled worker, this province is actively looking for new talent. And let's not forget about the lifestyle. Manitoba is home to over 100,000 lakes, so if you love fishing, kayaking, or just being near water, this place is perfect. Plus, it has some of the best wildlife experiences in Canada, like Churchill, the polar bear capital of the world, where you can literally see wild polar bears walking around, from a safe distance, of course. One major downside of living in Manitoba is the limited job market outside of Winnipeg. While the province has a strong agriculture and manufacturing sector, high-paying jobs in tech and finance are scarce. Winters here? Yeah, they're rough. We're talking -30 degrees Celsius in January, and the wind chill can make it feel even colder. But here's the good news. Manitobans embrace winter like pros. From huge winter festivals to world-class ice skating trails, people here know how to have fun in the cold. Overall, if you want affordable living, job opportunities, and outdoor adventures, Manitoba is one of the best places in Canada to settle down. Number 6. Saskatchewan. Saskatchewan is one of those places people don't talk about enough. But if you're looking for job opportunities, affordable housing, and sunshine, yes, sunshine, this province might be your perfect match. First off, let's talk about the cost of living, because Saskatchewan is one of the cheapest places to own a home in Canada. The average house price is just $330,000, which is half the price of a home in Ontario. Even in Regina and Saskatoon, the two biggest cities, you can still buy a home for under $400,000, which is unheard of in bigger provinces. Rent is also super affordable, with two-bedroom apartments averaging around $1,400 per month. But here's where Saskatchewan really shines. It has one of the strongest job markets in Canada. The province's economy is powered by agriculture, mining, and energy, making it a gold mine for skilled workers. The unemployment rate is just 5.2%, well below the national average, and thanks to a booming potash and uranium industry, wages are solid. The province's GDP sits at around $84 billion, and Saskatchewan consistently ranks as one of the best places for job seekers in Canada. And now, let's talk about something that surprises a lot of people. Saskatchewan is the sunniest province in Canada. With over 2,300 hours of sunshine per year, you'll get more bright sunny days here than in Vancouver, Toronto, or Montreal. Plus, Saskatchewan is home to some seriously underrated natural beauty. The province has over 100,000 lakes and rivers, and places like Prince Albert National Park and grasslands. National Park offers stunning landscapes and amazing wildlife. The downside? Winters here are no joke. We're talking minus 30 degrees Celsius to minus 40 degrees Celsius in January, and snowstorms are common. Also, Saskatchewan doesn't have mountains or ocean views, so if you're big on those, this might not be your place. But if you want job security, low cost of living, and a sunny, peaceful lifestyle, Saskatchewan is definitely one of the best places to live in Canada. Number 5. Nova Scotia. If you love the ocean, seafood, and friendly communities, Nova Scotia might be your dream home. This East Coast province is known for stunning coastlines, strong job opportunities, and one of the best work-life balances in Canada. Let's start with the cost of living, because Nova Scotia is one of the best deals on Canada's East Coast. The average home price? Around $440,000, which is more expensive than Saskatchewan, but still way cheaper than Ontario or BC. Rent is also reasonable, with a two-bedroom apartment in Halifax, the capital, averaging $1,800 per month. But the real reason people move here? The lifestyle. Nova Scotia has more than 7,500 kilometers of coastline, meaning you're never far from a beautiful beach, charming fishing village, or fresh seafood restaurant. The province is home to Peggy's Cove, one of Canada's most famous lighthouses, the Cabot Trail, one of the world's most scenic drives, and Lunenburg, a UNESCO World Heritage town with colorful waterfront houses. And let's talk jobs. Nova Scotia's economy is growing fast, especially in tech, healthcare, and ocean-related industries. The province's GDP is $51 billion, and the unemployment rate is around 6%. Halifax, in particular, is becoming a tech hub, with companies like IBM and Ubisoft expanding here. Plus, Nova Scotia is actively looking for skilled immigrants, so if you have experience in IT, healthcare, or marine industries, you'll find plenty of job opportunities here. One of the best things about Nova Scotia: the people. Nova Scotians are some of the friendliest Canadians you'll ever meet. And if you move here, don't be surprised if your neighbors invite you over for a lobster boil within a week. Winters can be wet and stormy, with lots of rain, snow, and powerful coastal winds. And while Halifax has a solid nightlife and restaurant scene, smaller towns can feel a bit too quiet. But if you want affordable living, coastal beauty, and a welcoming community, Nova Scotia is one of the best places to call home in Canada. Number 4. Alberta. If you're looking for big job opportunities, high wages, and no provincial sales tax, Alberta might be the best province in Canada for you. Let's start with money, because Alberta is one of the wealthiest provinces in Canada. Thanks to its massive oil and gas industry, the province has one of the highest GDPs in Canada, $390 billion. That's bigger than most entire countries. Alberta also has the highest average income in Canada, with the median salary sitting at around $65,000 per year, and many workers in oil, tech, and finance earning well over six figures. Now, here's the best part. Alberta has no provincial sales tax, PST. That means when you buy something, you only pay the 5% federal GST, unlike provinces like BC and Ontario, where sales tax can be up to 15%. This means your paycheck goes further, and things like gas, groceries, and entertainment are noticeably cheaper. Housing? Alberta is surprisingly affordable for a wealthy province. The average house price in Calgary is around $560,000, and in Edmonton, it's even lower at $440,000. Rent is also reasonable, with two-bedroom apartments averaging $1,900 in Calgary and $1,600 in Edmonton. And then there's the nature. Alberta is home to Banff and Jasper National Parks, which are two of the most beautiful places on the planet. Imagine living just a short drive away from the Rocky Mountains, where you can hike, ski, or just take in the breathtaking views. What about jobs? Alberta's economy is diverse, with major industries including oil, agriculture, tech, and renewable energy. The province is actively recruiting skilled workers, and cities like Calgary and Edmonton are becoming major tech hubs. The unemployment rate sits at 5.5%, which is lower than the national average. The downside? The economy can be unstable. When oil prices crash, Alberta's job market takes a hit. Also, winters can be very cold, with temperatures often dropping below -30 degrees Celsius in January. But if you want high salaries, low taxes, and some of the best nature in the world, Alberta is one of the top provinces to live in Canada. Number 3, Quebec. Quebec is hands down one of the most unique places in Canada. It's the only province where French is the official language, and its cities feel more like Europe than North America. But here's the best part. Quebec has one of the lowest costs of living in Canada. Let's talk housing prices, because this is where Quebec really shines. The average home price in Montreal is around $540,000, which is way cheaper than Toronto or Vancouver. And if you move to smaller cities like Quebec City or Sherbrooke, you can find homes for under $400,000. Rent is also a bargain. A two-bedroom apartment in Montreal costs about $1,800 per month, while in Quebec City, it's closer to $1,400. But what really makes Quebec special? The lifestyle. The province is home to stunning old-world architecture, vibrant art scenes, and world-class festivals. In Montreal alone, there's the Montreal Jazz Festival, the biggest jazz fest in the world. Just for laughs. Comedy Festival and Igloo Fest, a massive outdoor winter rave. Plus, Quebec is a foodie paradise, with its famous poutine, smoked meat sandwiches, and maple syrup everything. And let's not forget about education and healthcare. Quebec has some of the best tuition rates in Canada. If you're a resident, university tuition costs only about $3,000 per year, which is half the price of Ontario or BC. Healthcare is also heavily subsidized, making medical costs more affordable. Job-wise, Quebec has a diverse economy, with strong industries in technology, aerospace, finance, and film production. Montreal is home to major video game companies like Ubisoft and Warner Bros. Games, and the province's GDP is over $460 billion. The unemployment rate is around 4.5%, making it one of the best job markets in the country. Downsides? Winters can be brutal. We're talking -20 degrees Celsius with tons of snow. And if you don't speak French, it might be harder to land a job. But if you want a rich culture, affordable living, and an exciting city life, Quebec is one of the best places to live in Canada. Number 2. British Columbia. British Columbia is the dream destination for people who love mild weather, breathtaking nature, and a laid-back West Coast lifestyle. It's home to Canada's most expensive city, Vancouver, but for good reason. The quality of life here is off the charts. Let's start with the obvious. Nature. BC is home to the Rocky Mountains, stunning beaches, and some of the best hiking trails in the world. Whether you're skiing in Whistler, surfing in Tofino, or biking through Stanley Park, there's no shortage of outdoor adventures. Plus, Vancouver has some of the mildest winters in Canada, with temperatures rarely dropping below 0 degrees Celsius. Say goodbye to minus 40 degrees Celsius winters in the prairies. The downside? Housing costs. Vancouver is Canada's most expensive city, with the average home price hitting $1.2 million. Rent isn't much better. A one-bedroom apartment can cost over $2,500 per month. But if you move to smaller cities like Victoria, Kelowna, or Kamloops, housing prices are much more reasonable, around $600,000 to $800,000 for a home. The job market? Booming. BC's economy is fueled by tech, film, tourism, and green energy, with a GDP of $400 billion. Vancouver is home to big tech companies like Microsoft, Amazon, and Google, and the unemployment rate is just 4.4%. If you're in software development, healthcare, or film production, BC has tons of opportunities. And let's talk about lifestyle. BC has amazing coffee culture, top-notch restaurants, and a work-life balance that most people dream of. Plus, the province is super diverse, with over 30% of its population being immigrants. The only downside? High costs. But if you can afford it, British Columbia is one of the best places to live in Canada. Number 1. Ontario. Ontario, the economic powerhouse of Canada and the place where most people move when they come to the country. If you want big city life, endless job opportunities, and diverse communities, Ontario is the best place to be. Let's start with Toronto, because it's the biggest city in Canada. Toronto has a population of over 3 million people, and the GTA, Greater Toronto Area, has over 6.5 million. It's also the most multicultural city in the world, with over 50% of residents being born outside of Canada. Job-wise, Ontario is Canada's economic center. The province has a massive GDP of $1.1 trillion, yes, trillion, which is almost 40% of Canada's entire economy. Toronto is the finance capital of Canada, home to major banks, stock markets, and big tech companies like Google and Shopify. But beyond Toronto, cities like Ottawa, the capital, Waterloo, Canada's Silicon Valley, and Mississauga, a business hub, all offer great job prospects. The unemployment rate is only 5.2%, meaning jobs are everywhere. The downside? Expensive housing. The average home price in Toronto is $1.1 million, and rent for a one-bedroom apartment is around $2,600 per month. But if you move outside the city, to places like Hamilton, Kitchener, or London, you can find homes for $700,000 or less. And let's not forget Niagara Falls, Algonquin Park, and some of the best food scenes in Canada. Ontario has incredible nightlife, sports culture, go Raptors, and endless entertainment. The only real downside is the winter, which can be long and cold. But if you want the most opportunities, diversity, and exciting city life, Ontario is the best province to live in Canada.